오늘 북클럽 코리아 이벤트는 1부에서는 예정되었듯이 전주 유엔 그레나다 대사님이신 데니스 고두인 안토인 대사님을 모시고 지금 대사님께서는 어린이를 위한 동화책 그리고 앞으로 미래의 외교관이 될 학생들을 위한 책을 집필하시는 데에 거의 두 번째 인생을 살고 계신다고 해도 과언이 아닌데요. 1부에서 대사님을 만나면서 앞으로 여러분들이 SDG를 달성함에 있어서 청소년으로서 어떻게 행동해 나가야 하는지를 조금 동기부여 받을 수 있는 시간이 되기를 바라고 2부에서는 여러분들이 청소년 성우로서 시각장애인을 위한 SDG 팟캐스트 제작하는 데에 어떤 과정이 필요한지 등에 대해서 이야기를 나눌 수 있을 것 같습니다. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning for those who are joining us from Korea, and a wonderful night to those audiences in the US. And actually, I do have my Excellency invited speaker, Ambassador Antoine, here. Welcome to the UN SDG Book Club Korea Reader event, and I'm Hannah, your moderator for today's exciting sessions.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you. And it's my afternoon, my evening, and I'm very pleased to be with you.
So in this first session, we'll engage in a conversation with Ambassador Antoine, delving into his transition from a diplomat to an author. So if you are curious about what inspired his transition, please stay tuned. And after this 40 minutes conversation, we'll move on to the second session to meet young youth voices for the SDGs. So as seen on the screen, we can categorize Ambassador Antoine's career into 4 different parts: international diplomat, influencer, author, peace ambassador, and advocate for the youth. Originally from Grenada, he held prestigious positions as permanent representative of Grenada to the United Nations, and later as the ambassador to Beijing as well. And post-retirement, he transitioned into a second career as an author and peace ambassador. So he wrote a lot of books aiming particularly young audiences and young readers. So in summary, Ambassador believes in the transformative power of knowledge, shaping future leaders through books, literature, and advocacy.
I think you've been very generous in your introduction, and I must say that I appreciate the fact that you think that my sharing is relevant to your vision and your mission of the foundation. So I look forward to my engagement with you.
How do you feel when you witness numerous HSG-related initiatives or movements from young age groups?
Well, I believe that the SDGs is about the future. And who else is more relevant to guarantee the future we want than our young people? Therefore, youths must be the focus of an engagement to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. So right from the start, I believe we must engage in an intergenerational relay of sorts, because, history does not stop, and each generation runs a leg of that historic relay. And so my passing on of the values that I have learned is focused on ensuring that we share knowledge, we share love, and we share vision, so that the future we want, as focused on the SDG, may be achieved.
So at this moment, the importance of global cooperation and relationship between generations is crucial to peace efforts. Is that one of the inspirations behind your transition to authors and the motivation that you begin writing children's books?
Certainly. You know, as I had the occasion to travel globally,
Mhm.
you enter into communities and different parts of the world, and you meet people in their domain, in their habitat, and you see how much we have in common. And it's only when we are able to understand each other better, we are able to make an impact on the world. So to share my experience from my work to illustrate the importance of cooperation, it is also a peace effort. You know, in my capacity as ambassador, for example, to the People's Republic of China,
Mhm.
I was asked to be a mystery guest. And so there it is, the book popped out. A mystery guest for the opening of the middle school in China. And I myself was curious and excited. I have never had the occasion to see so many young people standing with wide eyes and wonder. And I had to speak to them and make sense. So what I did, it came from my vision, and I decided, whoa, I should begin to continue sharing this perspective. It was a profound experience. I still have the picture which I shared with you of the moment when I stood in Beijing, and especially flashing back during the COVID period, I was called to be the graduation speaker
Mhm.
for an international school in the Bahamas. And there it was, the sea of young people standing before you, and you have to make sense so that you share pertinent information that is useful to them in their lives. And so these are some of the motivations that inspired my continuing to write.
Can you please tell me more about your first book, the Get on Board, Dear Children of the World? What message did you hope to convey through the words or literature works to young readers?
Now, these moments which I mentioned that have inspired me to write children's books focus on the SDGs. Now, I consider my writing to be participating in a relay. And so my generation is passing the baton to the generation to run their leg. I'm running my leg, and I'm passing on the baton so that generation could run their leg of the relay. Now, my books are like baton being passed on because the achievements of the SDGs depends on the millennial generation. Now, the young servant leaders. And so my writing of children's books is my interaction with the future.
So, with only 7 years left until 2030, the final year of the SDGs, what do you think is the most important thing that young people can do to help achieve or contribute to the SDGs?
There are many significant things that young people can do. It is not that they must wait till they grow up, and it is what they do now. You know, my message to young readers is to go get to know their purpose and to know that the ability to influence others is power. And that power makes you very important. It is also not enough for them to be intelligent. You must also have the right character and the right disposition. You know, I think the family, we must take family matters very seriously, because family is the school of love, I would say, that teaches about God, love, children, blessings, peace, and how to live for others. That is a strong lesson we learn from family school. So another lesson is that where you are, start where you are. Use what you have and do what you can. You see, because always remember that in the entire history of this world, there is no one like you. No one like you or me. We are unique. And that is the biggest aspect of getting to know yourself. And then, why am I uniquely here? And finding the mark that you want to make. That's my message.
Yes, nowadays, young students who are also the audiences of today's event have a lot of talent in writing or public speaking or influencing, as you said. Do you have any advice for young writers?
Because in the entire history of the world, as I mentioned, there is no one like us, no one like. Please think about the mark that they want to make on the world and why you want to leave what I am calling footprints,
Mhm.
so that the world would know you were here. You know, how you served your purpose while you were here. And one day, someone who may be lost may find your footprints, and that helps them find their way, because you're telling a story by your life, and your life story can become a real GPS
Mhm.
for someone to follow. So so let their voices be heard. It's very important. And think about how you would like the world to be better than it is, and go for it.
Can you like share some memorable experiences from your work writing or your work in diplomacy, related to global cooperation or relationship between generations or peace efforts or anything else?
Well, my experience as a diplomat, as an ambassador, provided me with the opportunity to become associated with
Mhm.
noble causes. For example, I had the opportunity to be called and to join the group of peace ambassadors. And there is a group called the Universal Peace Federation. And this is a powerful group that focuses on peace in the world, unity among people. And when you're called as being one that may be able to say something or participate in a discussion to shed some light on a nuance, a way forward, I believe those opportunity became quite powerful. When I sat at the United Nations and had the opportunity to be part of the drafters and the development of the SDGs. This was very serious work, because it's multilateral work with all the other countries of the world coming together to fashion this global agenda which we have presented to the world. I thought, for me, it is a stamp on my experience that I would not forget. It's very impressive to me.
So, do you have any plans for your another children's book or the adults as well?
Yeah. uh, I'm totally excited about the fact that in a few more I would say days, I hope. I have two manuscripts. One is
Mhm.
kaya, meaning roast duck. I am looking at the characteristics of Chinese. I'm looking at kaya
Mhm.
is coming, looking at the looking at Chinese characteristics by the etiquette and the manner of sharing with each other.
Mhm.
That book is coming. And then nobody owns the sky. You see, I have this beautiful book, and I'm excited about it because we're going to talk about who owns the sky. And the question may seem very, simple, but who owns the sky? So it's about having young people think about what's up there. Think about, is there another world up there? Think. And so who owns the sky is coming, and it's coming with some graphic illustrations done by one illustrator from a big country I should not talk about yet, but it's coming very soon. And the illustrator is from Malaysia. And
Mhm.
so we would be engaged in producing a phenomenon.
Do you have final words or messages that you want to share with the audiences who are here?
I believe that one thing that we carry with us as we are set out on our life's journey is our label. And what's your label? Your label is Hannah, right? So that's your name. And I believe that our name, we use our names to tell our stories, write books and poems. I always remember that your name helps. And it is very important. It is very important that you protect your name. You protect your name, it's about character. And your name means a lot. That's why we must keep our name safe. And by keeping our name safe, we are able to be credible. Always remember, it is one important possession. And I have used mine as a sibling, as a student, as a friend, as a teacher, as an ambassador. I've used mine at the US, in China, all over the world. That name, don't lose it, don't spoil it. And it only means good character and disposition. That's my share.
I do have one question received. When writing your books, do you have any differences in writing books for adults and children?
I write for children of all ages
Hmm.
because, what I always say, each of us is somebody's child. And you may be surprised to learn that the stories that are written for children have a lot of values in adults who would also have to read or convey those, messages to children. So yes, it may fall into a category, but it is for all ages because the story is not limited to chronology. It is a philosophy of sort. There is one point I would like to stress here. You know, when talking about young students and their daily lives, how they can contribute to the sustainable world, I believe that there is need to practice being kind and respectful to one another. I believe that our young people, if they're listening, they should keep an open mind so that they become filled. If your mind is open, you become filled with knowledge and you should share. by sharing, you make room for more knowledge to come in. So again, my suggestion is to practice being kind and respectful to one another, and especially keeping an open mind so you can be flooded with knowledge. So you need to just suck knowledge in and share it. Every time you put out, every time you share, you make room for more. So that's my simple suggestion. Thank you for engaging my attention. I'm learning to understand your vision and your mission with your young people. I really appreciate what you're doing. I congratulate you and your team for trying to make our world a better place. Let's all be ambassadors for a better world. Let us all get on board the SDG train. I really appreciate being here with you tonight. Thank you very kindly.